Welcome back to Podcast The Hero. Still no Cheese. He's off gallivanting with the puffins in Newfoundland. I'm supremely jealous. I really wanted to go, but I'm not a millionaire. Airfare to Newfoundland costs like $10 million. It's the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen in terms of traveling someplace that's not that far away from me. So I have a question for my Canadian friends. What the fuck? Is Newfoundland like some sort of like exclusive resort that only like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates can afford to go to for like some weird panda polar bear sex party thing? Is that like, why is it so expensive to go to Newfoundland? Also, I was looking like, oh, maybe I can drive into Canada and then fly from like Windsor, Ontario. But then the people in Windsor were like, yeah, you can fly to Newfoundland from Windsor, but you have to go to Edmonton first. What kind of sense does that make? What is going on with you guys? I'm stuck here at home having no real fun while I'm watching all the Instagram reels and stories and posts and everything of everybody having all kinds of fun in Newfoundland. I'm really bad FOMO. It sucks. And I'm like regretting not quitting my job and selling my house to afford it, to go have that experience. But what are you going to do? This week, though, we're doing something special. When I say we, I say me. We're giving one lucky fan this t-shirt. How are we going to decide who gets it? Well, you're going to go on the Patreon, and that's patreon.com/podcastthehero, and you're going to join. Now, you can join for free. There is a free membership level. That is perfectly fine. We have no expectations that you will give us money. We want you to give us money. We like it. But there's no expectation that you give us any money. Just join for free. And then you're going to put a comment. There's going to be a post on the Patreon. If you go to the Patreon right now, you will see a post on the Patreon that is the giveaway post, and you're going to comment on that post, and your comment is going to be about why someone else, it can be anybody else, real or fictional, but anybody else, someone else is more deserving of that t-shirt than you. Cheese and I, we're going to look at all of these comments, and we're going to pick the absolutely least deserving person to get it. And that's how we're going to pick. And then we'll reach out to the winner and tell them you were the least deserving person of this shirt. And so we're going to give you that shirt. So that's how it works. I don't know when it's going to end, but I'll probably leave it open for a couple of weeks. But yeah, so be as creative as you possibly can. Tell us why somebody else deserves that shirt more than you. And now we have a very special guest joining us. I'm thrilled to have this person on. Yeah, so here we go. Michael, welcome back to Podcast The Hero.
Thank you very much, Fritzy.
You were one of the very first people to do this podcast. Some 70 episodes ago.
Wow.
This will be episode 80.
Wow.
It's really bananas that we've done.
Absolutely wild.
We've stuck it out. I think it's more a credit to Cheese, like not losing interest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over 80 weeks of this.
How do I get that interest in Mystery Weekend, right?
Right?
You know? I digress, Cheese.
Almost nothing has changed since then. with me and Rody and like all that stuff is almost exactly the same. You still aren't in Protest the Hero.
I'm still not. As
I gave it like a
20%
chance back then. I was like, there's a 20% chance that he's going to get really bad FOMO and want to come back. And I was 100% wrong on that 20% guess. You are still not in the band.
I am still not in the band. Okay. I'm pretty sure I said on this podcast that if he finished the Mystery Weekend content, that I would actually rejoin the band. And
he still didn't do it.
80 episodes, here we are.
As you're aware, the boys are wrapping up the first leg of, they call it Volition X. It should be Volition XI. It's been 11 years.
That's right, yes.
They just played a couple shows in Newfoundland.
They did.
Apparently it was amazing, for that one. Yeah. But also disgusting. Cage posted some pictures in the venue of how sweaty and wet it was.
Yeah, Rock House is it's a smaller room and it is a sweaty room for sure. Yeah. It's super fun, but yeah, it's I can see that happening.
When I saw them when they kicked off the Halloween is for Always tour in Detroit, they played a place and it was very hot, like sweat dripping from the ceilings hot. Mm-hmm. I thought that was gross, but then when I saw the pictures from the Rock House, it looked like maybe it was hotter there.
Where was it in Detroit? St. Andrews Hall?
No, it was a smaller venue on the east side. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a smaller place, and there was no air moving through that joint, and like a few people had to like be pulled out of the crowd because it was too hot, and everybody and Tim was like in a full like.
The costume.
His costume was Phantom of the Opera, so he had like a mask on and like a cape and like a suit. Not like I don't know.
H was wearing the Weird Al wig.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a lot of material on your body. No, thank you. Once played. We played in Houston years ago. I think with ABR. I can't remember. Anyway, no, it was with ABR because their photographer Ray took photos of this, but. Me and Truk and a handful of people took an Uber to NASA because I was like really keen on going to NASA, which was incredible. And my roommate at the time was like, spend whatever you want to spend in the gift shop. Just get me like a bunch of stuff. And I was like, absolutely. And I got him and I like, essentially costumes, but like jumpsuits.
Yeah,
they were like $200 US a piece, which was like $1,700 Canadian. And like, he was very excited about it. But I played the show that night in that thing, and it's like it is a cheap costume, and I thought I was going to pass away.
It did not, and no air moving through that thing whatsoever.
To do that for a whole tour.
Yeah,
no. I went to see them in Toronto the last day of that tour. And I was talking to Cheese, and I was like, "When did you regret this?" He was like, "The very first show." And I was like, cool.
Yeah, they were miserable, and they went and bought like new stuff because they were like, "It's too hot. We got to like pare this down to like, I think like a lot of skirts."
Yes, yeah, because it's smart. Like, get that airflow. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Real quick about Detroit venues. Is it St. Andrews Hall that's across the street from that unbelievable wing spot?
Yeah.
That place changed my life.
So that place, so when this tour, they kicked off in Detroit at St. Andrews, and my wife and I showed up for the show. We're kind of walking around outside and ran into a couple of people who knew me from the podcast and said, they're over there.
Yeah.
And they were in Sweetwater's Tavern is the name of the place. And they went in and had some wings, and they are the best wings.
It's the best wings I've ever had. There's no competition. I had the best experience when I went in there.
Yeah.
I think I got a pound of wings before the show and 2 pounds after.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I've never had wings like that before or since.
Yeah. It's a unique thing.
Yeah, it is. It's
like,
crazy.
do you want wings? Like, like most places, like, what flavor do you want? And they're like, we don't. It's just the wings.
Yeah.
There's not flavors. It's just
and they're
wings.
Perfect. There are like, it's not what I expected out of wings, and I was eating them blissfully. Like, it was unbelievable. Yeah,
they're amazing.
I went to that spot. My wife and I took a trip to visit her mom in Mexico, and we went to Detroit, hung out with Justin, who you had on the podcast from Majors.
Yeah.
When he was living in Detroit, and we went to see Anderson .Paak. Yeah. And it was like one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life. Truly unbelievable. And then we're like, we have to go to Sweetwater's Tavern. And Sarah had never had them, and I've been like, they're the best wings in the world. And she loved them. But yeah, it's an unbelievable spot. And Justin, who is a like Michigan native, was like, yeah, it's the greatest place ever. Like,
it is.
So,
and it's just like, it's just a neighborhood bar, like on the corner. It's not very big. You just walk in and order some wings and a beer, and it's a fantastic meal.
It truly is, yeah. Anytime I go to Detroit, I will do two things: see you, and then take you to Sweetwater.
Oh, well, I'm in. I'm absolutely in for that.
Amazing.
You were in Newfoundland for the Mist video, and how long after you joined the band did you end up having to do that trip? Like, it couldn't have been very long.
That's a great question. I'm pretty sure it was within the year that we released it.
Yeah.
Or like that Volition was released rather, but I honestly can't remember how long.
I feel like it was months.
Go ahead.
Right.
It was. Yeah, it was within the cycle for sure.
Yeah.
And it was a really, really wonderful experience.
So you kissed the cod, you drank the screech.
Yes.
You said the words.
I said the words.
The
hymn of some kind.
Do you have any regrets in giving up your Canadian citizenship on that?
No, because I'd done this before, so it was just I was already doing the whole thing. I had played, we had played in Newfoundland with my old band a number of times. So we got screeched in years and years and years ago. But it wasn't on camera like this was, and because we kept saying the words wrong, we had to take more shots. And you know this about me, but I don't really drink ever. And it's not a light beer, let's put it that way.
No kidding.
And I have been told by multiple people that I look miserable because it was like the last shot that we got it, and as I'm about to take the shot, I'm pretty unhappy about it. I'm essentially drunk because it takes me nothing. And I'm not having fun. I'm having fun in general, but not the actual 6th or 7th shot of this alcohol in a short period of time. I was just like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So,
somebody brought a bottle to the Detroit show. Wonderful. And a bunch of us got together, and it was the first drink that I had in years. Okay. But I had to. And and honestly, it wasn't terrible, but I don't think I could drink a lot of it.
So let me ask you, whenever you did drink, did you like spirits? Like, did you like?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. I was a bourbon drinker.
Okay.
So that and in my college days, we drank a lot of rum and Coke. Okay. So drinking cheap rum wasn't new to me.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't. Apparently, whatever they brought, it had the new flavor. So I don't know if they've made it so Screech isn't so bad anymore.
Screech 2.0. Okay.
Yeah, new flavor.
I'm more of a what is it? Angry Orchard, that like cider company. I'm more on that side of things. Yeah, I like beer, and actually I like sour beers. If anything, I would want to drink a sour beer. That's like probably the thing that I do like, but I just don't like being drunk. So it's
me either.
There's no point. Yeah.
Yeah. I found there's been a big explosion in non-alcoholic beers, and it's
finally
the best.
Yeah.
The best.
I feel like I've been waiting. I like I've said this a bunch of times, but like I'm like it's finally happening. Like there's all of these options. Like when I go to restaurants and stuff too, people are like, "We have an extensive mocktail list." I'm like, "You do?" Like, you're not just gonna mix like cranberry juice and grenadine together. Like this is so exciting.
Yeah,
like it's.
I do it all the time.
I'm thrilled about it. Yeah, same.
It's
It's we have a bunch at our house. Like just like even to pass around, but it's nice that like almost everywhere we go, that's like a public setting, there is an option, and it's not that I'm happy with just drinking water as well, but it is nice to have the option.
Yeah, sometimes you want something special, something
a little fancier. Yeah, just a little nicer. Actually, so I gotta shout out. Why am I blanking on who showed me this? Oh, my friend Aaron. He simply just takes sparkling water, which I know you love, and has like different bitters and just puts bitters in his sparkling water when he's at home. And it's just this like really nice thing to drink at home. And it's so easy. And anyways, I'm a big fan of that as well. We have like a bunch of different bitters.
Yeah. And bitters, like that's another thing that has exploded lately is different flavors, and all the different stuff they do with bitters is great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love it.
You're responsible for Ben being the touring guitar player with Protest the Hero.
I will take that because I love him. Yes.
He is he's a wonderful person. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. I have been friends with Ben since we were, when he got into my old band, it was like before we released anything. How old is he? 18, I think.
Wow.
And we've been like great friends ever since.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a long time.
So he was in The Kindred with you.
Yeah.
And before that, it was called Today I Got the Plague.
That's right.
Before that, you were in a band called A Legend Falls.
Wow. Yes, I was.
Who was that legend?
That legend was a Major League Baseball player. Yeah, I was at work. We started that band when I was like 15. It was like the first band I ever toured with, and we released 2 full-length records before I was like 18, and it was prog, but we didn't know that it was prog. We were just like doing stuff, and especially like the second record that we put out, like just as we broke up in 2005, that one was like, it was like 8-minute songs and all these parts and super tech, but we didn't know what anything was. Like it just was whatever was happening. So that was really, really fun. But yeah, I was like at work, and we were like thinking of band names, and there was just a newspaper headline that said A Legend Falls, and I was like, oh, it was a pretty good band name.
Yeah, I figured it was like a canceled celebrity.
No, this is so long ago. I was a child. I wouldn't even know what that is at the time. I lived in a world of bliss, and that no one was bad. That's not true.
No one was bad.
Older than that. Yeah,
everyone was good.
People. Yeah.
Wade Boggs wasn't cheating on his wife publicly.
Who's Wade Boggs?
See? He's a Major League Baseball player. He played for the Red Sox when I was a kid. That's how old I am.
How old are you?
45.
Are you really? Man,
I am ancient. I'm an old
38.
Old man.
I'm getting well, same age as Cheese, but yeah.
Ancient.
I mean, you look great. Keep up the good work.
Well, thanks.
Hey, no problem.
It's a lot of eating pizza and not working out. So
fuck. Tell me your secrets. Oh, you're tall. That's your secret. Never mind.
That's it. I'm just tall.
Keep moving on. Yeah, I'm fucked. So.
Back to Newfoundland. Mm-hmm. Did you get to see any puffin?
Yeah.
Did you get to snuggle one?
No.
Do they let you snuggle them? Do they like curl up with you like a puppy or a cat?
No, unfortunately. We went to Bird Island, which is literally what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's in the video as well, which was like really, really cool. I remember Truk and I were just like always on the watch of being pooed on, as one does. And it was great. It was really cool. But that was my first time seeing like not just a puffin, but so many. A murder of puffins. I don't know, but a lot of them.
I really hope that a group of puffins is called a murder.
Should we look that up?
Like crows. We should. What is a group of puffin called?
I got it. I'm on it. A colony of puffins.
It would be way better
Not as fun.
if they were a murder.
Yeah.
That's fine. Did anyone help you set up your drums in all of those millions of locations where you guys were shooting that video?
Yes.
Or did you have to like... Because like I assume the cabs that they put were just unloaded, empty cabs. And so...
No, they were real cabs.
Really?
Yeah, what are we, Metallica? We don't have fake cabs. We just brought real cabs.
But I mean, like, why carry cabs around with speakers in them? Just unload them.
Because we're punk rock.
Oh, my God.
Let's see. Yeah. No, they were plugged in. That's us playing live in the video.
What you don't hear is the generator in the back.
Yeah. We just fire it up. Yeah. Well, we have noise canceling, so this is pre all that, I guess. But anyways, the kit was really pared down, and everyone just kind of helped. Like it took 2 seconds to set up, so it really wasn't that bad. Okay. But if I'm not mistaken, we played out there while we were there. So we had played shows anyway, so we kind of had all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Can you hear the baby?
Yeah, I do. That's amazing.
Okay. Let me close the door.
No. It's fine. Who cares?
Okay.
This is not that serious.
I know. I just okay.
My dog was barking for like 20 minutes.
Fair enough. I only heard a little bit of the dog.
Yes. I'm not editing it out. I'm not doing any of that.
Okay. I appreciate that.
So you can fake guitar stuff. Like so many videos have just like, oh, you've got a guitar. There's no cable. There's no nothing. Yeah. You're just, you can't fake drums.
No, unfortunately.
So you're just sitting out there playing drums.
Over and over again, constantly.
Thank
God it's not a fast song. Yeah. Looking cool. They're not doing nothing. Looking very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always said this about drums, and it's not because I'm a drummer, because I play way more guitar than I do drums. But when it comes to playing drums, you can never phone it in. Like practice, watching everyone like sit. I know that I'm sitting playing drums, but it's slightly different.
Yes.
But watching everyone play and then like sip their coffee and not be sweaty after a show, which is insane to me. Like Cheese and I would always Cheese and I very sweaty. I remember Clum would have his bass strap line and that's it. And Truk would play in a hoodie and stuff, looking all cool. I'm just like, how are you guys doing this? Like practicing drums. Before I had space that I can set up my kit in my house, I had a jam space, so I'd pack a lunch, athletic shorts, sweat wicking shirt, a couple water bottles, whatever.
Yeah, it's like going to the gym.
It is going to the gym, and then I go and I play drums for a few hours, and get a coffee on the way out, take breaks, sweat towel, and then like I play guitar here, and I'm like, okay. And I just sit here and I'm like, this is sick, and then move on with my life. I have this project called Same Fears, and I did vocals in it. And we only played one show. Like it's just like a fun little side project thing. And going to practice as a vocalist is the greatest thing in the entire world. Like there's a mic on the ground, and I just pick up the mic. And then I scream in that case, and then I put the mic down and I leave. And I was like, this is bananas.
Yeah. I saw a great meme about it was like when the vocalist when the band asks for help loading out, and then it's a dude and his arms just disappear and his shirt sleeves are just waving in the wind.
Yeah.
Like that's cheese.
Okay, I can't totally. I mean, yes, Cheese, it is you, but Cheese got into these times where he would be really stoked on being a drum tech, and it wouldn't last an entire tour, but it would like frequently come up, and he'd have a drum key on his carabiner, and he would come and he would do like a fantastic job for the record. And I think that the main thing is that like drums are annoying. They're a very cumbersome instrument. It's just the way it is. And just having someone to hang out with when you're like striking and just getting everything teared down after, and just like the whole bit is nice. As you know, HK drum teched for me forever, and also toured with Take Off the Plague forever. Like we've been friends for ever. I've toured with HK more than any other single individual human, like easily. He's the best. And
H is awesome.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's an amazing person. But he, like, that time spent just hanging around the kit, drinking coffee, setting up, polishing a cymbal, doing whatever, like, is really nice. Yeah, when there's someone else. But when there's not and you're tired, it's really fucking annoying.
It's brutal. Yeah.
It's not a good one.
So after your final show in Edmonton, you graciously gave me a cymbal from your kit. I assume that you burned the rest of your kit and then threw all the ashes and metal hardware that wouldn't burn into Lake Ontario. And you do not have drums anymore. You don't know how to play drums anymore. If you had to play drums, you wouldn't be able to do it.
No, I would not.
You've forgotten.
I've forgotten everything. I tried to play Blood Meat in Toronto during sound check when I went to see the guys, because I was going to play that night. I had not played drums since that Edmonton show. I had not played drums, but hadn't touched a drumstick.
Yeah.
And I didn't warm up. I didn't do anything, like nothing, zero. I was like drinking a coffee, and then I walked on and I tried to play. And the first half was so rough because like my hands are just cramped. Like I did nothing before playing like a faster song, right? Yeah. And by the end of it, it was fine because I'd warmed up and whatever. And I just like turned to H. I'm like, I'm not going to play this tonight. Like, no, thank you. It's like, if it would have went like swimmingly, then cool, the confidence to do it, whatever. But I will say that my last show with PTH was the best PTH set I've ever played. I feel that I played as good as I ever possibly could. Like the songs were exactly what they should be, and all the stuff that I always overplay because it's the way my brain works, and I add a bunch of stuff, was exactly where I wanted to be. I felt loose. I felt good. I felt like everything was just like dialed in, and I don't want to spoil that. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was that show. It was like all of our buds were there. All these bands that we love are there. My wife was there. Like, it was such a good I couldn't have asked for a better time. We had so much fun while we were there, and like watching Prop and Flats and like all these other sick bands that played. That was just like, I couldn't ask for anything else. It was like all these really sick bands that had been in like the span of my career, all in one place hanging out and having such a good time. And then the show went really well. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. That's awesome. They're actually in my closet downstairs. I have not set them back out. Sorry, that's a lie. My little cousin, she's learning to play drums, and I recently lent them to her entirely. But
that's awesome.
And I'm like, I've been trying to help her do stuff, but until then, yes, they've been in a closet packed away. And one day I want to play, but I also don't know if I'm like, I want to set up and play an acoustic kit. I would like to just maybe get a sick electric kit so it's honestly quieter.
Yeah, so you can sit and put some headphones on and play.
Not bother everyone.
Yeah.
I have a new child in the house.
That's why I have that kit behind me.
Yeah.
I'm not good, but I like to be able to play.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy playing it?
Yeah,
That's
I
all
do.
that matters.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have aspirations of being a professional drummer?
No.
Well, then you're doing all of the things right.
Yeah. I have no aspirations to be a professional anything, to be honest. I
But you
really
are
like
literally a
being an
professional.
amateur everything.
I mean, I respect that, but also you do work for a living, so you are a professional. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Are you happy you didn't have to learn all the Volition songs? Because I assume there are some songs on Volition that you've never had to play.
Only one. I've
Just
learned
one?
everything else. And sorry, that's a lie. I learned everything on Volition. Like
Why?
When it came out, because I just in my old band we could play every single song that we wrote, and we
On
would,
any given night, right? Like it.
not on any given night. No, some we would have to like rehearse a bit more.
Okay.
But and this is shout out to Ben. Ben's retention for and speed at which he learns, and it's by like it's a complete reaction to how much time he puts into being so good at guitar. Like he really puts in the time, and therefore he is very, very good at guitar. And he'll be the first one to tell you, I work really hard in order to even be able to play this nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but he puts in the time, and he was a literal dream to be in a band with. I wrote the music in my old band, and literally by the next practice, we practice every week, he'd be able to play any new tabs that I sent him. I had no idea how he was doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are so good at your instrument. But it's the dedication and it's all the stuff that came with it. So when I joined PTH, I was just like, I'm going to learn everything I possibly can. And we're going to be playing lots of Volition. So let's just learn it. So over time, I did end up learning it. We did not end up playing a bunch of the songs. And some songs we meant to play and then dropped, but I had already learned them. So the only song I've never played live is Without Prejudice, which is a bummer because I really want to play that song. But I'm almost certain we played everything else at least once. Wow. What's the track list? Clarity, Tilting, Drumhead, Without Prejudice, Yellow Teeth, Plato's, Nightmare Song. What's it called?
Life Embossed.
Life Embossed. Yeah, fuck that song.
Mist.
Animal Bones, Mist, Skies. Did I get all that?
What's
10?
No, there's one more. It's the theme song to this podcast, in fact.
I don't remember the theme song. I'm sorry, Fritzy.
I mean, how do I not know?
Yeah,
off the
wait.
top
This
of
is
my
more.
head, right? Like, what is my problem? Discography, Volition, Underbite.
Underbite. Oh, man. Look, Underbite, when I first joined PTH, keeping in mind I was playing for my old band on the same tour, so I do the,
Oh, you're doing double duty?
yeah, for 5 weeks playing with PTH for the first time. It was a nightmare. But the opening song that we played was Underbite.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that sucks for me specifically. It was so hard. But yeah, so yeah, I've every single song except for Without Prejudice we had played live. So, but I knew how to play it because we were going to play it on a tour. Actually, I was so keen on playing it that we used to play the sample before another song, before Yellow Teeth. And then I think people would be like, fuck you guys. So, but I've never had to play it all back to back live, and I feel for H so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it is such a hard album.
Yeah.
But none more than Life Embossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dropped that song in the middle of a tour.
Yeah.
We were playing it, and it was super hard for everybody, every single person on stage. But we also noticed that no one really cared like they did about the other songs, which makes perfect sense because it is a musician song. It is super intricately written. Like they did such a good job composing that song at like a macro. Is macro super zoomed in?
Micro
Level.
zoomed out.
Here we are. I'm learning. Every day is a school day.
Mm-hmm.
At like a microscopic level. Of course, it's right there.
There you
go. It's brilliant. There's so many interesting little things that are thrown in there, but those little things are like this little pin in your pupil every single night over and over and over. And they're so hard to follow from the crowd's perspective, especially if you are there for like a mist or a Sequoia Throne, where it's like very, like a lot more structured. It is very musician-y. So I remember we were 2 weeks in, we're like, why are we playing this song? Like, it's not going over well. I did not like propose this, but like it was proposed. There was like, no one seems to care. Let's just drop it and play something else or whatever. Because then like back to back, I don't know if we actually played this back to back, but then we would play Mist, which is 4/4, and people would go off, and they're just like, look, it's what the people want.
It's probably the genesis of Rody saying that A Life Embossed is the least popular protest song of all the protest songs.
I bet I actually back that. I really like the song.
I do
but
too.
I know it at like I learned every single part of it, just like anyone else who has to play these songs. So you have a different appreciation for it. Like it's a really cool song. There's lots of really cool parts. But if I was listening to an entire discography, like and taking all that in, it would probably stick with me the least, because it's like the Dillinger Escape Plan effect. Like you're not going to listen to that song once and be like it's just not going to happen.
That makes sense. Let's talk about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
So you have a thing that you're doing.
I do. Yes.
It's an app.
It is an app. It is a touring platform, tour management platform that myself and my friend Ryan have spent the last like 18 months or so building together. I started building this like years ago. It's just like a kind of pet project to learn different technology software.
Yeah.
And then he approached me like, I'd say like 2.5 or so years ago, and was like, hey, do you like actually want to try and build that? And I was like, I do. That'd be amazing. And we did. And then we did a beta in the fall, and obviously PTH was the first band to use it. It was like, there's no option, boys. You have to.
Right,
use
you
this.
have to.
Yeah. So I mean, really quick, what it is a there's a product called Master Tour. It's like digital schedules and some information that you can have, and has a bunch of different features. Is like to like manage your tour essentially. A lot of people use it. This is no slight to Master Tour, but it is older software, and there's a lot of people who have a lot of gripes with it, myself included. So I wanted to kind of modernize that. So we built in a lot of communication parts, because like, I think that's where things lack the most, even to very simple things, such as Truk and Tim always had Android phones when we were on tour, and the rest of us had iPhones, and a lot of Canadians and Americans rely on iMessage. It's just kind of like what happens. And so we would have these group messages that just didn't have Truk or Tim in them. And we would like decide on things like where we're going for breakfast, and, like certain information from our TM and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I would usually room with Tim, and Klum would usually room with Truk. So we would just relay that. But simple example. And we were like, well, that's broken. Right. I know bands who use like every chat, like TMs have every chat platform possible. Yep. So we built a chat into this app, and it's its own Discord, Slack style chat. We built in like loads of other communication tools, and we wanted to kind of focus all of like your, all of like the fragmented information that comes across in a tour, which is
tons,
an enormous amount. And all the different services and applications that people need to have in order to make this work. So a Dropbox, a Google Drive, email threads that you have to like comb through in order to find stuff like your riders and technical sheets and things like that. So we want to kind of centralize all of this build in communication tools so that folks can actually find this stuff really quickly and hear from their tour manager, whomever, as fast as possible, and then do a lot of like asset file management, things like that. And so, yeah, the two of us kind of put it together. We had a really successful beta round. PTH definitely got the brunt of it. We like our login wasn't working properly, and like our sign up wasn't working properly. Like we just like, we were like, hey, can you guys try this? And then I should have known this, but they tried it day one of the tour, not like beforehand or whatever. Like it's of course, just like any band would. And I was just like, right, okay, cool. So we fixed stuff on the fly and whatever. And their tour manager, who's out with them right now, has been unbelievably amazing and gives us loads of feedback and is like fully switched off from Master Tour. So we call him like our power user, because he was like the first TM who like switched off the platform entirely, or switched off Master Tour entirely and onto our platform, and like he just constantly gives us great feedback, and we like thank him constantly. He's a really good guy. But that's the overall aim of it. So like reducing stress, streamlining information. Our kind of ethos is one place for everything. Modern UI. There's like loads of other stuff coming in, and tons of like really handy features that I honestly wish that I had when I was on tour. And we're getting great feedback. So that is what we are. That's what we're putting out, and now it's out publicly. So we're starting to kind of push it. So
what's it called?
It's called Pharaoh.
Why?
Sorry?
Why is it called Pharaoh?
Why is it called Pharaoh? We had a bunch of different names, and they were either taken, and it's just like naming a band. I honestly said to Ryan, I was like, this is just like naming a band. And we just like kind of went down all these different things, and we came to Pharaoh is lighthouse in Latin, lighthouse, illuminate, so forth and so on, wayfinding, blah, 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 and, derived what we want to do from there. And it's short, it's catchy, it's easy to remember. The only issue is that I think people expect it to be spelt like Pharroh, you know what I mean? Yeah. But whatever. If Google can get away with Google, then I'm sure we'll figure it out. I'm also not comparing us to Google.
I thought maybe you were watching like Tombstone and...
is there a Pharaoh reference in Tombstone?
Well, because the card game was popular at that time before poker became popular was
called Pharaoh.
A game called Pharaoh, and that's what the Earps, when they moved to Tombstone, had the game like they ran the Pharaoh game in town.
Okay, can you ask me where we got the name again?
Yeah, where did you get the name for Pharaoh?
So I was watching Tombstone.
I love it. How can so you couldn't escape the music industry?
No,
I know. It's in your bones.
Yeah.
It's in your bones.
Yeah, it is. That's good call. I was like, I want out. That's it. And then I was like, JK, no, I actually care deeply about the music industry. And I do feel there's a unique perspective. I've TM'd a lot. I've booked a lot of tours. And I've played in a band and teched and all this other stuff. So, beginning to build Pharaoh, the perspective, I think, from my experience, directly being somebody who is building the software has shaped it in a way that is, and because I like only had stopped touring a year ago or less or whatever. Or just a bit over. I feel like I'm very close to that industry, and I can empathize with a lot of the problems that are going on out there. So I was like, sure, let's give it a shot. You know what I mean? Like, I have a day job and I work that, and that is like what I do. But maybe one day this becomes something that is all I do, because I would genuinely love to.
Yeah. And like user-based solutions to problems are always the best solutions to problems, right? Yeah. Like, who better to design this? Probably nobody, Right?
That's the hope from the angle, you know? Like there's we have a lot of support, which is really great, and advocates who have been amazing and whom we really deeply care about. And I would genuinely love to improve the quality of people's lives on tour via Pharaoh. Because like, what better way to continue something that I love without being on the road anymore than to advocate for those people and be like, hey, I see you, I hear you. It's really hard to tour for a living. It really is. And this isn't just music. This is, you know, theater. This is sports. This is like when you are traveling. I've always said it this way. It's like, imagine going to work for 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And people travel for work all the time, but there's no off button unless you are massive, where you go into your own bus and have your own spot. And even to say, you're not going home, you're going to your own bus, right?
Yeah.
And yes, the comforts are increased, but you're not going home still. Yep. So when an artist like Taylor Swift goes out for, you know, months on end, it's like, yes, is it as cushy as possible? Of course it is. Yeah. Is she at home though? She's not. So you are gone the whole time. And if like some software that I build can just like take some stress away from somebody and provide a better way for them to communicate with each other, or just have an easier time or a better experience all around, then like that feels great.
Yeah. So Taylor, who we know is a listener to this podcast, get on Pharaoh.
Oh, Taylor Swift. I was just like, there's a few Taylors that are going.
No, it's Taylor. Right, Taylor Swift is a huge fan of this podcast.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
I assume.
Pop on. You know, it's. I'll give you an extended free trial.
There you go. How can people find out more about Pharaoh?
You can go to getpharaoh.software.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's easy.
It's easy.
You can probably Google it too, huh?
I don't know. It's really new, so let's hope indexing is kicked in.
Just scroll.
Or you can go to Instagram at Pharaoh is cool, and you can also check it out there. Cool. Thank you, Fritzy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, anytime.
I've kept you longer than I had planned.
Loved every second of it.
So check out Pharaoh. Check out Protest the Hero. Mm-hmm. They just finished up, so they're going to take a little break, and then they're going to continue Volition X. Mm-hmm. And then so thank you, Michael. Now go away for a while. It's
always so nice to see you.
Go away.
Okay,
go away for a while. We'll call upon you when we need you again.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. I will be waiting for that call. I have a red phone that's just for Fritzy. Definitely not for cheese, though.
No,
definitely not for cheese. Yeah.
By the way, this is so great that we did this without him.
I will only come back to this podcast if it's you and I.
Love it.
That's it.
I love it.
That's my only stipulation.
Well, that was really, really a fantastic time. I enjoyed the shit out of that. One of the nicest human beings that has ever existed. I love Michael, and I'm glad that he is happy and doing great, and I'm glad I got to do this without Rody, because it makes me fucking incredibly happy. To close out the episode, our friend of the podcast, Dave the Film Guy, was in Ohio to see Protest the Hero, and he put together this little film, and I'm going to share it with all of you. It is amazing. I think it properly closes the episode, and I have no words. Like, I watched it earlier, and it made me jump out of my seat and run and share it with Jenny, and it's just incredible. So enjoy it, and I will see you guys next time. Yeah, I don't know. Dave, awesome job, dude. Yeah. Meh, whatever. Except for Ohio, because Ohio is a shitty place, so I put Ohio sucks, but there were 2 shows. I hate Ohio, so I didn't bother.
Because Ohio's a shitty place. I hate Ohio.
So why does old Fritz hate Ohio so much? Could it be our cool signs along the highway? Our Jesus statue we call Big Butter Jesus that got struck by lightning and was burnt down? Or does he hate that they rebuilt it and turned it into $5 footlong Jesus? Or is it this couch fucker who's running for vice president with Donald Dump? Or maybe this Ohio congressman talking about the size of his dink? Shit, maybe Ohio does suck. No, that's not why. It didn't make sense until I was walking past this fake European monument in Columbus looking for something to eat before the PTH show, and I came across this. And then it all came together. I realized why old Fritzy hated Ohio so much. I don't know about you guys, but Wario reminded me of someone. Maybe this guy. You know it's true. The resemblance is uncanny. Well, either way, went to the show at the A&R bar in Columbus, had a great time. Greyhaven opened, they totally destroyed. Then the 68 came out, played some great stuff. You say he's just a friend, oh baby, you. Can't go wrong with Biz Markie. Then Protest came out and destroyed the stage. Oh man, it was a great show and a great night. And the boys had something to say to you, old Fritzy.
Fritzy, eat shit and go fuck yourself.
Hey Fritz, eat shit and go fuck yourself.
Hey Fritzy, it's your old pal Ben. Eat shit and go fuck yourself.
Hey Fritzy, eat shit and go fuck yourself, bud.
Yeah, eat shit and go fuck yourself, Wario.
You can also take a picture from your...
Is he C?